Within a matter of months of the definition for Islamophobia becoming cemented into Scots law, with Muslims subsequently entering the ever-expanding group of protected individuals under the hate crime lunacy, it was a foregone conclusion that headlines such as this would be preparing to hit public discourse not long after. It's no secret to most that the reporting involved when it comes to hate crimes is disingenuous to say the least. For example, the police will record the incident that you have reported and then carry out an initial investigation to determine whether the incident falls under the legal definition of a crime or breaches any statutes. If it does, it will then be recorded as a crime. So there's the first recording of said crime. The police will then carry out a crime investigation involving interviewing witnesses and suspects and so on, looking at other sources of evidence, etc, etc. If they believe they have strong enough evidence to support prosecution, they submit a report to the local Procurator Fiscal. So the Procurator Fiscal works for the Crown Office, which is the body responsible for prosecuting crimes in Scotland. The Procurator Fiscal considers the police report and decides if there is sufficient evidence. If there is, they will then decide if any action, what action, if any, is appropriate to take. And of course, that there's 3 different stages which will result in some form or another of recording a charge is ever brought about. And it's when you realise this, and then you look at these articles in regards to hate crimes and the supposed surges, that you realise just how fucking deceptive it all is. Because 9 times out of 10, they never actually say convictions, they just talk about reports and recordings. Glasgow Art Contest launched to highlight issues causing hate crime in the city. Entrants are being given the chance to walk away with £250 prizes, with judges looking for pieces of art which show what hate crime means to those involved. A hate crime is any crime motivated by prejudice or hate against a person because of their race, religion, sexual orientation, disability, and so on and so forth. And of course, how do you prove that that's the reason that any incident supposedly occurred? Unless they outright say that they are doing what they're doing because of said prejudice. I don't know. Anyhow, for Chris Cunningham, City Convener for Education Skills in Early Years, welcomed schools' involvement this year, adding, improved public awareness of hate crime and how to respond to it is at the heart of this campaign. This includes educating our young people about diversity, equality and inclusion. Jesus Christ. We all have a responsibility to stand up against hate crime in all its forms. It's important that we all work together towards creating a society where everyone feels respected and valued. All this talk of respect and feeling valued and diversity and forced inclusion, etc, etc. It's rather remarkable how you go on to say that Glasgow was the first city in Scotland to mark Hate Crime Awareness Week, and it's in its 5th year now, but yet Glasgow apparently has a surge in hate crimes. He took up the campaign to encourage activities to address hate crimes and to educate and raise awareness of the harm and devastation it causes. So let me get this straight. You create all these different groups within society, you create all these different categories, all these protected characteristics, all this hate crime legislation, and now you need to educate the public on all the things you've incorporated under the umbrella of hate crime protections. It's almost as if society functioned better before you forced the shit down everybody's throats. But what do I know? I'm not a progressive politician. The council has a team of ambassadors who deliver training in every aspect of society, every sector, whether it be the workforce itself, whether it be the police, the fire brigade, etc, or in schools. It doesn't matter where. There's always these fucking activists, these twats, that have to deliver training on top of the training that said individuals have already gone through, or in the case of school, they're just going to school to learn. But the teachers need to be trained up to eviscerate all living memory of all the qualifications and training that led them up to the point in question, in favour of the progressive rhetoric that they're about to get bombarded with. It encourages agencies to work alongside partners, as well as in communities affected by hate crime. In 2018, Glasgow was shown to have the highest number of hate crimes of anywhere in Glasgow, which experts say could be linked to the greater than average level of ethnic diversity. Oh, well, I can't question their expertise. They're experts after all. Anybody with half a brain could have come up with that conclusion, almost as if it's to be believed, that is, diversity ain't the strength they make it out to be. The vast majority of hate crimes recorded, with 67% being racist, while the second most common target was sexual orientation. A further 7% had a religious aggravator. But the word used here, hate crimes recorded. Now going back to this quickly, it says here, the police will record the incident that you have reported and then carry out an initial investigation. Falls under the legal definitions and so on. It will then be recorded. So stage 1 is the recording of said supposed crime. But yet, the vast majority of hate crimes recorded. Is that convictions or recordings? Who knows? A total of 6,000 crimes were recorded by the police hate crime database. Recorded does not mean convictions. During that time frame, there are around 30 hate crimes per 10,000 compared to a Scottish average of just 12. This was the highest figure of any in the country, but yet you're on year 5 of Hate Crime Awareness Week and you've got a large pool of ethnic diversity apparently. Almost as if the left-wing bullshit, this forced utopia that you're trying to create, is turning swiftly into a fucking dystopia.